What the fuck is up, y'all? This is KreyzMcKormik up in this motherfucking bitch. And I see Twisted Shady's already up in this bitch. Skinny G is up in this bitch. And it's been a long time since I've done an episode of the Crazy House podcast. But I gotta let you guys know something when it concerns this shit. Currently, I've got a lot of stuff that I've got planned for 2019. 2018 was kind of a bust when it concerns this channel, mainly due to the fact that I was really just using this as a temporary escape when I had a 3-month lockdown doing live streams on my main channel. That's why I created this one. And I was having fun doing the Crazy House podcast and doing news and types of things when it concerned this channel. But once my original channel popped back up, I was like, all right, so now what do I do? And it just kind of fell into place when it concerned my original channel and everything of that nature. By the way, how does the sound quality sound on this? Is it a little hot, or does everything sound fine? I need the info on that. And Spooky Tuesday, what up on this? By the way, Spooky Tuesday, I gotta let you know something. From what you were telling me on the Crazy Retro Gaming channel when I was playing Comic Zone, I did get your message on Patreon and I did respond. So that's what it is. Karaoke mic. Actually, it's the Rock Band mic from Rock Band 4, and it's the only microphone that I had. I was using this microphone for doing stuff. So the problem with that, though, is the kids have been playing in my room, watching TV and whatnot. Somebody had to have dropped this, and the USB port in the back has been smashed in. So I have to resort to using this microphone. And the kids ended up breaking my microphone stand right off the tip at the bottom, where it's supposed to hold on to the bottom area. So now I have to hold this like I'm fucking doing rap. So a problem has been occurring when it concerns me doing this type of stuff. But before I get ahead of myself, I might as well go through the shilling. Streamlabs is available, obviously. We're still playing the King of Streamlabs game. And Super Chat is not available on this channel yet, but go into the link in the description below for support. Supporting the channel will help improve on other future things, if not paying my fucking bills. Because right now I'm trying to get into, trying to get my side mirror fixed. Somebody smashed my side mirror in, my driver's side mirror. And because of that, that kind of fucks with me and my work. So I can't do Uber because of that shit. So I got to get that fixed. It's probably going to cost me like $180. It's all right though. I mean, I've got a job, so you know it's not going to really affect that shit all that much. Twisted Shady, not much. Just playing some games. Hell, I got the Super NES Classic and been playing the hell out of it. Fuck your Super NES Classic. I've got the Retron 5. And on top of that, I've been collecting games on that. Last night, I ended up playing Comic Zone for the Sega Genesis. And I also have F-Zero. I was actually planning on playing that at some point. It's the PAL version, but it is what it is. So, you think that so Skinny G thinks that my mic volume is a little bit low. Turn your shit up. Max it out if you have to. I'll even help you with the bass. Okay, so bass volume level is set. So, on top of that, I might as well also continue on with the shilling. Patreon is available down, link is in the description below. Still trying to work with that type of stuff, but right now it's $1 just for simple support, and that gives you a gateway to Patreon exclusive content. I'm still trying to work on hooking up a monthly podcast. Eventually I'll have time to be able to do stuff like that. And I also want to try to do a thing where you get to preview my edited videos before they're officially released. $5 are going to be given out for special shout outs, as well as all of the dollar perks. Special shout-outs right now are including Spooky Tuesday, as well as D Venom and Rick So Rude, as far as I know. There might be some other additional ones, I'm not sure, but I do know that Spooky Tuesday is hooking me up with $17 because he is 17. And there's a $10 Patreon, where it's going to be giving you special access to a members-only Discord room on my server. I still have yet to work out the kinks in that, but once they do, I will let anybody who's doing $10 or more up in that bitch. I will let them know about that. And you'll also get the $5 perk, the $1 perk. You'll be able to get all of that shit. And as of right now, I'm trying to work on a $17 Patreon. T-shirts are also available in the link description below, so check that out if you want to buy some merch. I'm also working on hoodies. Hoodies are $34, and then every T-shirt available is $17. And from what I have been told by a lot of people that have been buying my merchandise since I launched my merchandise store, a lot of people really like the quality of the T-shirt. So for anybody that's trying to sell T-shirts at $10, up your game, motherfuckers, because the Teespring shirts actually are pretty fucking good quality. The print is actually very good quality, and things of that nature. So I see that, as of right now, I see that we have 7 motherfuckers that are watching this shit, which is fine with me, but if you want to go ahead and share that shit, share this to let everybody else out there know that the Crazy House Podcast is alive and well. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and go into the credentials. Now, the first thing that I want to do is try to play a little bit of a catch-up. And as far as I've seen with a lot of the stuff that's been going on with the Juggalo community and everything, there's been a lot of stuff that has gone on from the last time that I did a Crazy House show, and I've been doing a lot of other things. You know, I ended up going to Hallowicked. I missed out on Big Ballas. Thank you, Roxy Riddlebox. Yes, I know. Now, see, this is the thing. I've always held a microphone like this. This has always been how I hold a microphone. Years and years of doing karaoke, and this is exactly how I'm going to look come gathering time. And the reason why I say that is because if you go on my regular channel, for those of you who don't know, I ended up dropping a track that sounds like shit, according to my ears, called Fantasy Becomes Reality. It wasn't, I always talk this down because I'm kind of a perfectionist when it concerns doing the mixing and the engineering, the producing and stuff like that. Like, I didn't produce myself very well with the way that the track went. So some of the lyrical structure doesn't sound like how I actually wanted it to be. It was kind of a rush job. And the same thing with the mixing and the engineering. I didn't level the bass properly. Everything kind of sounds just equal level, so it doesn't sound good. But I do have the masters somewhere, and I'm eventually going to be fucking reworking that as soon as I get my other computer fixed. This one, the laptop hybrid tablet thing that I'm currently doing the live stream on right now, doesn't have the masters for Fantasy Becomes Reality or any of my other beats that I've made. But the other one does, is just fucked up on the BIOS. So I got to get the BIOS replaced, and then that way I can get back in, finish the masters, re-record them, and everything will be just treats once I get that shit taken care of. Now, since Hallowicked, I ended up dropping that track, and a lot of people have been digging it. There have been some people that have been trying to compare me to Jump Steady, which I don't understand why people are comparing me to Jump Steady. I'm not trying to be Jump Steady. I'm trying to do my own thing, which is just random shit. I could sound like Jump Steady on one track, and I could probably sound like Bedlam on another. And then I could probably sound like Twisted on another track. And then I could sound like fucking Q Strange on another. I could probably even make shit that sounds like Razakel, or I could make stuff that sounds like, God forbid, the fucking Purple Gang. Who the fuck knows? Like, I try to do what I can when it concerns my shit. But I dropped that track, and because of that track, I ended up getting hit up by Carnival Spirits. They want that track on a mixtape. And I gave them permission to fucking put that bitch up on a mixtape. The next thing that I ended up having somebody come across was Big Bad Wolf, who's doing like a charity benefit thing, like a Juggalo pre-gathering show in the parking lot. He's doing a parking lot party. And so I'm going to be opening up Juggalo style with that track and a couple others that I'm going to be putting up. I'm also planning on trying to set up a demo reel, so you'll be able to hear that shit. You'll be able to hear some of the new stuff, and then I also want to do like 1, 2, maybe 3 tracks that no one has heard. So at least that way the demo reel will give you some extra flavor. And of course, because of it's being a demo reel, you're gonna have to fucking pay for it. So I've been working on that, and I talked to Sid Jones about that shit. He said that he knows a guy who can make the discs for that shit, and I'll be able to put them out come gathering time. On top of that, shortly after Hallowicked, before Big Ballas, CPN ended up coming into town. And he hung out with me. He was downstairs in this room in my, what looks like angry video game nerd type of fucking basement. He said that he got that angry video game nerd vibe off of my basement. And so he was down here. We played Ninja Gaiden. And then he went up to Saginaw, Michigan to go hang out with Madness. And I told him that, I was planning on going up there as well. I showered, got ready. And I drove up to Madness's house, and some party. All that it was basically was me, Madness, and CPN was passed out on the couch high as a motherfucker. So me and Madness ended up talking, and I showed him the track, and he actually had interest in producing me. Well, it looks like that changes everything that's going to be going on in my 2019. I had already planned on putting a little bit more effort into YouTube when it concerns the Crazy House Podcast, the Crazy Retro Gaming, my actual channel, and I also want to do some stuff with Crazy Commentaries, which is another channel where I'm just basically going to be sitting in the basement, watching a shitty movie, and making fun of it. Actually, it really doesn't have to be a shitty movie. It can be a good movie. I really want to start putting shit down on the MCU movies as well as the DC Universe movies, and basically it's just constantly talking shit and making fun of the movies, despite whether or not they're good. And that's what I have planned on, and I think that eventually that's going to be coming down. But on top of that, I also have a lot of traveling that I'm planning on doing, a lot of concerts that I'm going to be going to for 2019. And I'm also going to be going back and forth from here to Saginaw to work with Madness, because, goddamn it, by the end of the year, I want to fucking release an album. I would like to release an EP of sorts, other than the demo reel, because the demo reel is going to have shit where it's all been like all the beats are made by me, and then me and Madness will work on some other shit. Basically, the things that we do for the fucking Jugganati, right? So that's basically with me catching up. But the problem with doing something as massive as what I'm planning on doing for 2019, the real issue is that I have been going through a breakup and everything, and it's been taking a lot of time away from me doing a lot of this. I've been spending more time on Facebook than I have been on YouTube. And the things that I've been doing on YouTube is I've been watching a lot of stuff from the Juggalos, but I've also been watching a lot of Amazing Atheist, and I've also been watching a lot of Jim Cornette commentaries and shoots and things of that nature. So it's been taking away time from what I wanted to do with this. And in turn, you know, CPN has been on the ball with doing everything on Live with CPN. So it's been kind of taking away time to sit down and actually be creative and think about things that I want to put up on here. And then when it concerns the Crazy House podcast, I've been wanting to do a podcast for a very long time. But when you step out of the game, this is how it is when it concerns YouTubing. When you step out of the game and you try to jump back in, where do you begin? That's the biggest question, is where do you begin when you're doing stuff for the sake of entertainment? When you take a sabbatical and things of that nature, where the fuck do you go with this? Where do you start? You've missed out on all of this fucking news, and I'm sure that people want to know what your 2 cents are when it concerns what's been going on. What are your thoughts about Child's Play Ninja walking into M&E headquarters and taking a piss in their building, fam? What are your thoughts about Monoxide Child fucking saying, if you fuck with CPN, then you don't fuck with M&E? Or something like that, or some childish shit like that. What are your thoughts about the Juggalo community, the YouTube Juggalo community, making all of this freshness? Where do you start? You can't. That's the truth of the matter, is that you can't pinpoint a good fucking point to start off with all of this stuff. So you have to go with whatever's current at this point in time. I would more than love to actually talk about some of the things that happened at the tail end of 2018. You should start with a 2018 review. Well, you see, the thing about it is that there's so much that ended up fucking going on, and more than half of the year, my brain was fried due to the fact that I didn't give a shit about anything because of my relationship. Like, the 2018 review basically would be January, a lot of bitching. February, a lot of bitching. March, April, May, a lot of bitching. April, specifically, watching a kid get the shit beat out of him over some internet shit. Let's see. June, a lot of bitching. When, you know, like every fucking day, almost every fucking month, until Hallowicked. Hallowicked, there was a lot of bitching until Hallowicked, and then I got to hang out with a bunch of people and got to meet some people, which you already saw live. I bumped into Church. I bumped into Roxy Red. I met Dom Pell. You know, I seen Snaps for the first time, which was cool as fuck. Ended up hanging out with Roxy Riddlebox. Met Warlockside for the first time. Ended up having a story with Warlockside and CPN where we were on my way to my fucking car so I could charge my phone due to me being live. And what up, Travis? What up, Hyplo? Skeletor? You know, seeing you know, and on the way to the car, we ended up hearing some bumps and fucking. What are you thumbing down, Hyplo? You know, and then we ended up hearing somebody bumping Shout Out, which was cool as fuck. What up, 24? You know, seeing all, you know, and witnessing that shit and seeing the fucking, you know, Hallowicked for the first time in 14 years. That was cool as fuck. Wednesday, I think it was a Wednesday, I think. I don't know why I keep on thinking of the word Wednesday, but nevertheless, like November, I get broken up. I move into my parents' house, and I've been fucking silent since then. You know, just chilling out in chats and periodically being on Tales from the Lotus podcast while I'm sitting in my car doing Grubhub. December, the same thing. Except, you know, been on the grind and doing all of that shit, putting more effort and work into my fucking job than anything else. But then, here comes the new year, and these are my plans. Putting more effort into social media, putting more effort into YouTube, putting more effort into the music and shit like that. Yeah, that kid that got fucking beat up by Frankie Grunge, yeah. I felt very bad for that kid, but I'm glad that he's actually doing all right, and he's back on the internet talking shit while Frankie Grunge is getting broken up from Dead Gang Media and all that other shit, and that's what he fucking deserves, because fuck him. And that's my 2 cents. That dude can suck a nut. Thank you, Hypelo. Okay, thank you for pointing that out, because I was like, what the fuck are you booing? So here we come at the year end, at the beginning now, 2019. And we've got big things going on. We've got the Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker Tour. We've got the Juggalo Unity Tour. We've got the E&J Tour. Oh yeah, and we can't forget about towards the tail end of last year, where we ended up having Ouija Max Tour and shit. That was actually pretty fun. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that type of music per se, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I like Ouija stuff. I'm not a big fan of mumble rap, and but I like Ouija, and now that I've watched Ouija perform live, I understand a little bit more about what the whole mumble scene thing is about. It's more along the lines of the stage performance, and that's the exact same thing that I actually witnessed when it concerned watching the Last American Rock Stars for the New Year's Eve party. So I went there representing Juggalo with Wolf, Warlockside, Rox TV, and Sid Jones. We ended up hanging up that fucking banner for the backstage, quote unquote, at Simon's After Dark. Nobody fucked with it. It was a predominantly fucking twisted show, you know. And we're in Allen Park, of all places, and a bunch of white people in Allen Park. And even Bizarre and Gordy were like fucking saying how bad it was in Allen Park. But watching Lars perform that night, I understand a little bit more about what the album is. It's meant for people to witness the stage performance rather than just listening to the music. In a way, it's kind of okay, but at the same time, it's like, don't you think that the album, and this goes for both Lars as well as Ouija, don't you think that the album should be able to hold itself up? Kind of like how ICP has been able to do that with all of their albums for a long fucking time. It's been, what, almost 30 years? Allen Park is a small, it's like a small section of Detroit, Michigan. You know, same thing with like Livonia and Delray, Zug Island, you know, Allen Park. It's a subset of Detroit, Michigan. So I went to that show and I got to meet a whole bunch of people. I met I didn't officially meet Trey Pounds. Like, I bumped into him and I knew who he was because of the interview that CPN had with him. So I bumped into him. He didn't recognize me, I don't think. He wasn't like, "Are you KreyzMcKormik?" I didn't even come up to him and say, "Hey, aren't you Joey's little brother?" You know, I didn't say any of that shit. But I ended up getting to meet Extra Overdose. I ended up getting to meet Damian Quinn. I also got to watch Damian Quinn fucking do, like, a dab bong kind of thing. That was fun to watch, as he just fucking sucked that motherfucker up. Thank you, Travis, for pointing that out. It's a downriver suburb. So, I got to go to that show. And that was cool. You know, and I also ended up bumping into Psychotic, who I have known for a vast majority of years due to mutual hatred of King Crimson over some of the bullshit that he's put Grand Rapids through for the last God only knows how long. And so, like, I bumped into him for the first time in real life, and I told him, dude, I've been wanting to fucking bump into you in person for the longest fucking time. Because I've been wanting to see the face with the name, you know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, like, that was, that was New Year's Eve for me. After we were done, me and Sid Jones ended up driving back to his house, and Ashley was there doing something. I don't know what the fuck she was doing. Didn't matter to me, though, because I was just like, okay, whatever. I kind of just wanted to play Nintendo, and I ended up playing Kirby's Adventure until like 4 or 5 in the morning before I finally woke up, before I finally passed out on the couch, and then woke up the next morning and played more Kirby's Adventure on their TV. And then Ashley made us eggs and fucking sausage and shit, and it was fucking awesome. They ended up having mimosas. I was like, fuck the mimosas, because, y'all know I don't drink. So let's catch up on, so that's catching up at the end of the new year. Now let's talk about some of the things that have been going on. The E&J tour and how it's all been fucking canceled and shit. Now, a lot of people have been making up their rumors and speculations about things when it concerns the E&J tour. So they did like what, 2 shows, something like that, 1 or 2 shows, and then the whole fucking thing ends up getting canceled. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's because Violent J had a fucking panic attack, or it's because, their bus got fucking broke down, so the whole tour is canceled because I'm a fucking retard. I'm just going to go along with that speculation because I don't have a fucking working brain cell in my entire goddamn brain. I'm just going to assume that that's the whole fucking thing. I said Kirby's Adventure. Hyplo, you got coonery on the mind. I don't have a coonski of my own, so I can't really fucking say coonery. I can just basically say how fucking retarded people are, though. And that's exactly what I'm talking about right here when it concerns the moronic stupidity of some of the haters in this community saying, okay, maybe it's just Isham got something up his ass about Violent J being a racist again or some shit like that. I might as well just throw that out there because we know that Isham has had his ends with Violent J in the past and tried to play the race card over that shit. I remember that shit from a long time ago. But these speculations, just none of them make fucking sense to me. Maybe it's something that's a little bit more personal. I mean, yes, we all know that Violent J has had panic attacks in the past, and a lot of people jumped up on stage. But if Violent J was saying we want ninjas up on the stage, don't you think that he was expecting that shit? He says it all the fucking time. He always tells, he always has that connection with the Juggalos. So, even though he might have been possibly having some sort of an anxiety attack or something like that, maybe it's something else. Now, I have heard from my sources that it might not have anything to do with the bus, you fucking idiots. It might not have anything to do with him having a panic attack. It might be something a little bit more interpersonal. Like, I don't know. It might have something to do with the business. It might have something to do with his family. It might have had something to do with his dog, for all I know. Because we all know that Violent J likes dogs. He's got, 3 dogs? It might have something to do with Sugar Slam. It might have something to do with Becky. It might be some life-altering thing with somebody that he's close to. Did anybody ever think about that? Something prolonging Something personal? Did anybody even think about that? No. Everybody that has been fucking bitching about psychopathic for the last 5 years has turned absolutely fucking selfish and are dying, absolutely dying to take any possible fucking shot at psychopathic whenever they get the chance, just so that way they feel better about themselves. This music that everybody listens to and has meant so much to them that they have invested their lives into psychopathic for so fucking long, just to turn around and fucking bitch at something like this. I didn't hear this type of bitching when Dark Lotus tried to fucking do a tour for Black Rain, and they had to cancel the entire fucking tour after 2 weeks because somebody got the flu, and then they kept on passing it on to each other, so they were constantly canceling shows because everybody was having the goddamn flu. So they had to cancel this shit. I didn't hear anybody fucking bitching about this when Violent J got panic attacks for the first time in '97. And so they had to cancel the entire tour because Violent J was going out of his fucking mind. What up, Shanzi, and what up, Fat Scott? Yeah, that's the reason why. Shanzi's water-headed motherfucking ass ended up going to a show, and he ended up fucking filling the room with so much flooded, water-headed water that it cost everybody. Blame Shanzi. And shout out to Big Ninja for that $5 Streamlabs. And he says, whoop whoop fam, gotta keep it gross somehow. Thank you, Big Ninja. And Big Ninja is right now king of the Streamlabs. So I personally think that anybody out there that is trying to make up rumor and speculation and crying about this shit needs to fucking sack up. God damn it. Like, you motherfuckers are petty. Like, for real. Just absolutely fucking petty. I don't understand why it is that you invest in yourselves into this shit so fucking much just to what? Try to throw it in Violent J's face? Just to try to fucking get one up on Violent J? Is that what you're living for at this point? You call yourselves juggalos. You're pieces of shit for saying that type of stuff. Now, I was actually expecting to go to, I'm not sure if it was Toledo, Columbus, or Dayton to go to this E&J show. I was hoping to be able to go to that, but because of the whole tour getting canceled, it is what it is. Yeah, I agree to that to the fullest, Shady. I mean, every once in a while I get somebody that comes up to me and fucking rides my nuts just because I'm KreyzMcKormik. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen enough. Well, not enough. I want more. That's why I do this shit. That's why I plan on going to more tours and more shows and try to be a little bit more involved and shit like that, because I'm envious of what Child's Play Ninja has. I want that! I want that attention. Actually, I've wanted that attention since I started YouTube. I love attention. I'm an attention whore. It's what I do. Nevertheless, though, even I don't fucking ride Violent J's nuts that hard. I know he's famous, but I've seen him in person a couple of times, and I don't fucking come up to him with a pad of paper and a pen and ask him for his fucking autograph when he's trying to mac on some chick. No. The last time I saw him do that shit, I fucking trolled his ass. Me and this dude that I knew from Keizu, Mabus, we fucking saw him when Blaze was doing a tour back in 2005, and we ended up fucking trolling his ass, and we're like, hey, Jay, how come ever since you lost the fucking weight, Hatchet Gear ain't got nothing over 3X? What, you ain't got fat kid love anymore? And he fucking told all of us to fucking come in, and he whips out this white wad of paper, and it was the Weekly Freakly Weekly. And he ended up having, some kid named Toombs ended up having the exact same question, and he answered it for us before it even hit InsaneClownPosse.com. I remember that shit like it was yesterday. And I made fun of his ass, too, when he pulled out that paper. He's like, you know what the fuck this is? I said, it's a wad of paper you just pulled out of your back pocket, asshole. And he just looked at me like... And then he went back to doing what he was doing. I'll never forget that moment, because that was funny as fuck. All you motherfucking people on the internet that troll Insane Clown Posse probably ain't got the balls to do shit like that in person, though. I made him look goofy. And all he did was he just went, like, you motherfucker. And then he went back to doing what he was doing. Yeah, KreyzMcKormik, who is that motherfucker? Who is Captain Flannel? PBR drinking motherfucker. They're canceling PBR, you dickhead. I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, some people are just downright selfish. Some people are just downright petty. I've been seeing this shit that people have been posting on fucking Facebook. There's some people that are still trying to bring up the whole Will Sigler thing again, and I told them they can suck a dick. Now, continuing along, we got more tours that are going on. This one, I would say, is a little bit more iffy with some of the things that people are fucking saying. The Juggalo Unity Tour with Blazy Dead Homie and ABK performing Drive-By. I'm going to that motherfucker in the loft. That's happening Saturday. And I'm going to fucking go to that. You know why? Because I support the Juggalo Unity movement. I don't support Twisted because they don't support us. And I don't support Gmo Ski because Gmo Ski is a fucking bitch. That's the only reason why he only slaps phones out of bitches' hands, because he's a bitch himself. But when somebody like Acetone or Stephen Barton fucking show up, he has to run behind security guards at a fucking Funko Pop store. Didn't that happen last year? Yeah, that happened last year too. So I can't fucking support that dude because he just talks too much shit. But I will say that I'm glad that I haven't seen his ass on the internet in forever. People, by the way, speaking of Gmo, people are still fucking popping up on my Pull Your Resume review and still trying to say that I'm butthurt and shit. Why the fuck would I be butthurt when I'm getting your view, bitch? Your view ups my prestige, so you could suck a nut. Anyways, I'll say, maybe another show later this year from Hypelo. Hell, I was told by Twisted Shady was a Boy Blue account. Now, that's funny. Speaking of Boy Blue, I got a gripe. Why the fuck is it that shows like the Crazy House podcast or even KreyzMcKormik in general, or anybody from Carnival Spirits, is not on the Replicon radio list for podcaster YouTuber of the year, but Boy Blue is? Why is that? But nevertheless, though, I think that you can actually vote for me anyways. Just go on to the repliconradio.com/polls.php, click on Other, and write me in. I know that some of y'all motherfuckers have probably already voted for Tales for the Lotus podcast. I did too, because better them than fucking The Beard Speaks, as far as I'm concerned. But I have one vote, and that's from Mary Jane Monarch. So if you want to, go up on that bitch. As a matter of fact, here, hold up a second. I might as well put this in. I'm going to put this in the description. Alright. I am currently putting in the website for Replicon Radio. So hold on a second. All the changes are saved. So basically what I want y'all motherfuckers to do, if you haven't voted yet, go up on, yep, it should be in the description right now. It says vote for me, and then I put in the website, repliconradio.com/polls.php. go up in that motherfucking bitch and go into podcaster, YouTuber of the year. Click other, hit vote, and put my name in that motherfucking comment section. I know I won't win. Chances are I won't win, but I definitely want more votes than the boy Blue, because maybe then next year I'll fucking be on the dais. Yeah, like what? Like that was the gripe that I had when it concerned that shit. But let me get into the Juggalo Unity Tour first. So I'm gonna be at the Loft on the 12th in Lansing, Michigan, for that Juggalo Unity Tour, because that's something I believe in. And I honestly want to see the Juggalo community try to at least get along and have a little bit more understanding with each other. Like, it's been apparent to me that a vast majority of the problem isn't necessarily psychopathic. If anything, psychopathic is trying to move along and move past all of this shit. The only people that are actually perpetuating this beef as of right now are the fans, mostly on both sides, and Twisted themselves. Especially with this track that Twisted just recently put out, which you can tell is sneak dissing the fuck out of Violent J, and I think they said something about Child's Play Ninja in there without saying names. But as far as I'm concerned, I think that as a whole, I think that I think there needs to be Juggalo unity. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck if you support MNE as a whole. I don't give a fuck if you support Psychopathic as a whole. I don't give a fuck if you support both or support none. I treat you like you need to be treated. I don't treat you like you want to be treated. I treat you with respect until you no longer treat me with respect. Then I'm going to make fun of your ass. Unless I see something that pisses me off, and then I'm going to come up on here and roast the fuck out of you. But with the Juggalo Unity Tour, well, I'll tell you this, at least it's not canceled. So I'm going to be going to that one. Any motherfuckers that want to fucking hang out with KreyzMcKormik and Echo Side Fiend and probably Guido. See, that's another thing too. You know, if you think about that. We're going to an MNE show. And Echo Side Fiend is on the fence. I'm more pro-psychopathic. And then you've got Guido, who is an RLP fanatic. And we're all going to a Juggalo Unity show. With one guy from MNE, one guy from Psychopathic. And we're going to have a ball. I'm going to be going in there wearing fucking Psychopathic merch. So, there it is with that. And the next thing going on is the Fuck Off Motherfucker Tour, which is the reason why I'm actually doing this podcast right now. Because I said I've been wanting to do a podcast on Wednesday, and I've been wanting to do a podcast on Saturday. Well, today's Wednesday, so here's the podcast. But I'm doing it at 3:05 because Shaggy 2 Dope and Ouija are going to be in A2, Ann Arbor, Michigan, tonight at the Blind Pig. Guess who's going? Basically me, Echo Side, and Guido, and we are dubbing ourselves the Juggalo Freebirds. That's right. Bad Street, Gunroo, Michigan. Us three. See, if we had a fourth person that was willing to come with us, we'd pretty much be the Juggalo fucking Horsemen. I get dibs on Arn Anderson. But fuck that shit. As far as I'm concerned right now, I'm kind of feeling very Terry Gordy, if you ask me. So, with that being said, me, Echo Side, and Guido, tonight, we're going to be in A2. Saturday, me and Echo Side, I know for a fact, are going to be in Lansing. I think Guido's probably going to. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're going to be sitting there. That's what it's all about, y'all. We need that unity shit. We need that unity tip. Except for Twisted. Twisted can suck my ass. And, yeah, Kunsky, on the other hand, can fucking eat my balls. That's as far as I'm concerned. Really took him a year and a half to tour, or did he already do a tour for when Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker first came out? I can't remember. It took him about a year and a half because of all of the other stuff that was going on, because you had the performance at DCG Con, you also had the Gathering, you had Hollow Wicked, the ICP tour prior to that, and then you also had Big Ballas. So, you really, I don't think that there was really a whole lot of time available to be able to do that tour until now, which is actually fine with me. I mean, back at the Gathering, Violent J ended up saying that they were planning on doing solo tours during the cold months, and then they were going to do ICP tours during the warm months, because of the whole thing with ICP throwing Fago. And and I agree, you can't really help but feel bad about being one of the motherfuckers in cold-ass weather, leaving a warm-ass arena and going into cold-ass weather, soaked in Fago, and having to drive all the way home, possibly getting fucking hypothermia because of how wet you are and how cold it is, and you don't have enough time to warm up your car before you have to fucking leave. All that shit. So that's mainly the reason why I'm doing the live show right now, and doing it very shitty, because I think we're gonna be meeting up around like 4:30, something like that. I don't, what the hell? Hold on a second. Guido's calling. Yo, what up?
Yo, so I'm just thinking about getting some gas and filling up my car. I think we're gonna take my car.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, and I was gonna fill up gas, get you, and run over to Tim's. Then come up, stop at a gas station, get whatever we want to get, or whatever,
Right. Yeah, I need to get smokes anyways. Oh, by the way, I'm on the live show right now, and you are being heard, so say what up, Doe.
What up, Doe? Shit.
Yep.
You can bring the live show with us, why not,
Well, I figured I'd do I'm doing an episode of the Crazy House podcast to try to play catch up.
Right.
And so, like, I was actually just talking about the fucking fuck the motherfucker, fuck the fuck off motherfucker tour, and I also ended up fucking talking about the Juggalo Unity tour. Are you going to that one too, or?
What days are those ones on?
It's at the Loft.
Depends on the day.
It's at the Loft this Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yeah, this Saturday.
What time?
Probably about 7, probably 7 or 8.
I'll probably catch the tail end of it if I do like the last Ouija show we went to.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, because I close at 10.
I gotta tell you something though. On the way to A2, we need to take a pit stop in Lansing, because every time I drive through Lansing, I stop at Mr. Taco.
Okay.
And I just
figured we head out a little early because I looked at the radar and it says that we're going to get a cold front come through, and it might be blizzard on our way too. So
you gotta say the weather report like Ollie on Family Guy. So what's the weather going to be like on the way there?
It don't snow.
All right, thank you very much, Ollie.
But yeah, so I wanted to just hit you up and to let you know that I'm on my way to come get you. I'm going to stop and get gas and shit, and then we can stop again or whatever.
Yeah. And you said you wanted to stop at Rock of Ages too, right?
Yeah. See, like if we get there early, we can stop at Rock of Ages. Because Rock of Ages is like not even a 10-minute drive from the venue, so... Do
you think that we're going to have enough time to be able to hit Rock of Ages?
I think we might if we could leave relatively shortly.
Right. Although, we also have to keep in mind that your car might fall apart if we go too fast.
Oh, no, it won't.
I'm just fucking with you.
That was the Camry.
Yeah, that's true. Your Camry was dog shit.
That thing was a dog shit, but hey, it got me to and from Detroit multiple times, so just had to turn it off for a while. This the Owen Hart's doing fucking phenomenal, man. All Owen Hart needs is just an oil change. And I don't know if the viewers on your show know what I'm referring to by Owen Hart. I'm referring to my blue Blazer.
Aha. Do you catch that? He drives a Chevy Blazer and it's blue, and he calls it Owen Hart, which basically means that it's gonna fall to its death at some point in time too.
We just gotta stay away from cliffs, Kevin. We just gotta stay away from cliffs.
Right. It's gonna hit engine first into a fucking turnbuckle.
And we're all gonna scream, "Doyle rules," as it's happening.
Now you're just mixing shit up, and you're gonna confuse the fans. But all right, man. Yeah, let me know when you're on your way. All right, peace. Yeah, I know. How cold was that hype low? Like, I'm gonna burn in hell for a very long time over some of the shit that I've said about Owen Hart over the years. That is assuming that is cold. I know. I am a bastard for saying that shit. But y'all know how I am. I'm kind of a dick. It is funny. That's why I fucking said it. It's funny because it's cold. Ice cold. So that's basically with everything that's been caught up as of this point in time. For real though, I don't really have anything else left to fucking say at this point in time, to be perfectly honest. I don't know what else can be said. But yeah, definitely gonna be going. I'm gonna be heading out to A2 in a few. And with that being said, I am going to be out this motherfucking bitch. Thank you to everybody that was watching. Thank you to everybody that participated in the chat. My King of Streamlabs, Big Ninja, with that $5. That I'm definitely going to try to make sure that I don't waste too much of that on hookers and blow. My Patreons, thank you to them. The shout out motherfuckers. Rick So Rude, D Venom, and Spooky Tuesday. All y'all motherfuckers, because without you, well, I'd probably still be doing this, but to a much lesser audience. And with that being said, I am done and out this motherfucking bitch. Deuces.